Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. This video is called Bass Triads on Steroids. On my last video, I did a complete video on triads, and I had beginner examples, intermediate, and advanced examples. Somewhere along the line when I was practicing, I decided I'd like to experiment and see if I could find a triad that didn't sound like a triad. I have three shapes for the major triad. The first most common shape is this one. The second is this one. And the third one would be this one. Now, each one of these triads has advantages where you play it to reach other spots on the neck and to make other lines easier to play. There's a lot that can be gained by knowing the three triads. Right now, I'd like to play that example slowly, and then I'm going to break it down and divide it up into separate measures and really get some clarity on what is happening here and how you can use it. So the first thing I do, believe it or not, is a root and fifth. And then I play a shape where I explained that would be number 3 shape. And it works beautiful because I'm going to stretch over and go up the neck. So root, third, and then I play the octave up here. A C on the 5th fret of the G string. Now see, what happened by reaching for that, now I can reach over even further this way. So after the octave, we do another stretch, another 5 fret stretch, right like that. So stretch up and we go, so far we have root, 5th, root, 3rd, octave, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, stretching up there. So using the intervals in a triad at different spots gives you a different sound. In a triad there is a major third and a minor third. A major third from C to E and a minor third from E to G. That's the shape. Now let's break it down into each measure. I want you to notice that it is a phrase and you can hear it individually each measure. And so the first measure will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 beats. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now this is a triad. I'm only using 3 notes, so it will work perfectly with a C triad, a C major 7th, a C 7th. It will work with anything that's based on a major chord. You understand a C major 7th is only a major 7th added on to the triad. So the triad's still going to work. A C 7 with a 9. A triad will still work because the first 3 notes are C, E, G. So what I like to do is turn that line into a triplet. This is always great because it sounds different immediately, gives you a different color by not playing different notes, just by changing the rhythm. So we have 8th notes, right? And it was 1 measure, so that would mean there would be 8 notes in the measure. So if we turn it into triplets, now we have 12 notes, 4 beats, 3 notes per beat. And so it's going to extend a little bit further than the 1 bar example I played with 8th notes. So it's going to sound like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Sounds different immediately. I love doing that. It's such an easy way to get more mileage out of your cliche lines, you know. Let's try that again. They're noisy around here. Now let me break it down. What's going on here? This is only a triad, and it does sound more complicated than a triad. I'm sure you'd all agree. But what is complicated? What is complex? I learned a long time ago, complex is nothing more than compound simplicity. Isn't that great? So anyway, so it's only 3 notes. It's a triad, C, E, G. So all of these examples I'm playing for you are only 3 notes, C, E, and G. So let me break it down and show you why this works and how it works. So this line goes root, 5th, right? Root, 3rd, octave C, 3rd, and then 5th, and then 3rd above, which is actually a 6th. A 3rd, if you invert a 3rd, it becomes a 6th. I know that may be more than you want to hear right now, but maybe not. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8 notes. Root, 5th, root, 3rd, octave root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd. This would be example 2 of 3, the second measure of the 3 measures that made up this line. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, what it is the first note on the 7th fret of the A string is an E, that's the 3rd. And then you go up to the 5th, 10th fret of the A string. Do the same thing up an octave. You play on the 9th fret an E, 3rd, and then the 12th fret of the G string, the 5th. Next, you play the 5th, 10th fret of the A string, to the E, which is the 3rd, and that will be the 14th fret of the D string. And then you play the 12th fret, which is a G, a 5th, and down to the root. Okay, now I'd like to play a variation. This would be variation 2. Not necessarily a variation on that line, just a variation of this whole idea. And this one's a lot of fun. It's a fast triplet and played up way up high. And I'd like to add that I'm playing it in the key of C, and if you have a Fender Precision or jazz bass, you're going to be short a fret. I'm going to transpose it a little so you can enjoy it. So you're going to go up to the E, and you know, you can only go up to the E flat. So I'll transpose it down to another key after I finish doing it in the key of C here. So this would be okay, that is simply 2 sets of 2 triplets, and it would be, that would be an E. That would be the 3rd, and it goes up, and you play the root. So 3rd, root, 3rd. And then you play the 5th, which is right here on the 17th fret of the D string, and up to the E. So you're playing a 5th to a 3rd and back. Perfect. So I'm going to play it in G, just so you Fender players can enjoy this lick too. Okay, 14th fret A string, which is a B, 3rd of the G, and then up to the root, which is a G on the 12th fret of the G string. Second part of the lick is the 5th of G, which is a D on the 12th fret of the D string, up to the B, the 3rd of G, which would be the 16th fret. You can also do a nice job on this tapping too. It's kind of works pretty good. I haven't got my little gizmo to damp the string, so it might be a little noisy, but you get the idea. Great lick. This is the third and last example and variation. We have a third on the 14th fret of the D string, which would be an E. Then we go up to the 5th on the 17th fret of the D string, a G. And then so far we have 3rd, 5th, then we go to the root, 15th fret of the A string. Then we go up to the E on the 19th fret of the A string. So 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, root octave, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, ending on the 3rd. Great lick. Okay, now let's look at the variation. This variation is a little bit of a challenge technically on the left hand, so it might be worthy just to learn it for that reason, but I like the way it sounds and feels, so I'll go with that. So we have a root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th. So that would be 10th fret D string for the C, the root. 7th fret for the E on the A string, 7th fret. Then we have a G, the 5th, which would be the 10th fret of the A string. Then we hit a 3rd, 9th fret of the G string, which is an E. 5th, 12th fret of the G string, which is the 5th. And then we go down to the 5th, which is 10th fret of the A string. And from there you go to the E, which is the 3rd on the 12th fret of the E string. And then you hit the root. So what you're doing here is playing a triad upside down. 5, 3, 1 here. So root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th, 5th, 3rd, root. Played it as a triplet. I can't resist that kind of thing. So there you have it. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, and I'd like to remind you that all of this material will be on my Patreon on nice simple sheets, and there'll be play-alongs using one of the play-along tracks I did earlier with the drums and the keyboard. And so you can get all of that at my Patreon page, and I want to remind you that there will be an index for all the examples on the video description below. So thanks for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.